I think we are live. Nathan, nice to see you. I've
Wow,
missed you.
you can't see me. I've just turned my camera off before we went live, right?
Okay, you have to do it that way. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, listen, we've managed to avoid each other all week because I've been working. But how's things been for you?
Yeah, not bad at all. No complaints.
Both channels going good? Anything you want to tell us?
Uh, there's always exciting things happening in Flat Earth, my friend. So, yeah, there's always things to talk about. I'd be here if there wasn't.
I was thinking more about your 1980 channel.
What about it?
Oh, will you be able to live stream from that from Monday?
Yeah, well, I could anyway, but I will go. I've just done a live stream to advertise for being on here, so technically I already am. But yeah, I'll move the shows around. It was just a scheduling thing, so I'd figured that out over the last couple of days where I'll put shows and at what time. I never ever thought I'd be in a position to have an upload schedule, but I do, and I have, and I've sorted that out. And yeah, so as of Monday, this is a bit dull. So what will happen is on Monday to Thursday, there will be a live show with a break, followed by another live show from 2 p.m. UK time daily. So you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday won't be 2 shows. So at the break on a Thursday, what I intend to do is have a break and then move over to the second channel, which is Nathan Oakley. So the second live show on a Thursday will go out on Nathan Oakley channel, and that will then get repeated on Friday on Nathan Oakley as a premiere. So in other words, it'll go out the second channel, the second show that is, will go out to a slightly smaller audience, probably considerably smaller, and then get turned off. And the same will apply on what's it called, on Friday. So I'll do 2 shows on Friday. Both will go out live on Nathan Oakley channel, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll put those out as a premiere on Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, so that they'll, like I said, they'll get switched off after they've been live. So that will basically give me my weekend free, as my wife's going to give birth pretty soon. So I want to keep my weekends free for the next, foreseeable future, shall we say. So there won't be a live show on Saturday or Sunday for a while, but for the time being, there will be a show at least on the main channel every single day. Yeah, that's how it'll be scheduled. I've also got a whole back catalogue of older stuff, which will also go out, and some of the stuff that gets switched off, i.e. the stuff that goes on the live show, will go out maybe a month later. So I've been rescheduling some of the stuff that I've been doing to go out in a month's time. So rather than it just going out immediately and having 2 channels with the exact same thing on them, so there's a delay. So there'll be a repeat, which means there may be a chance people will be captured that haven't seen that debate a month earlier. So yes, that's my schedule from Monday. Very complicated though it is, it'll seem a lot simpler when the shows are actually running.
It's like a full-time job, Nathan.
Indeed it is.
So, how's the website going as well?
I'm elated with the way the website's going. Not going to blow my own trumpet too much, but I have plugged it quite a lot, so I've mentioned it every show and spam the chat with it. But it's fantastic. There's now I haven't checked it today, but I would be surprised if it's not up to 100 participants on the forum now. So the site's got traffic going to and from to see the videos and the material on there, but the forum, which I'm very keen to have be a success, is already a success. It's got 100 participants. There's maybe 60 or 70 comments and threads that have been started and are being debated about. So the debate has well and truly begun in the nathanoakley.com forum. And, massive shout out to Paula, the one and only moderator at the moment. Hopefully it's not too overwhelming for her. And my webmaster as well, who is also keeping on top of it and approving comments. And, it's got some really, really cool stuff. I think because it's been, well, what's the word? Because
Wanted.
people have gone into it and used it, well used, it's meant that my webmaster's been more keen to add features. So he told me that he'd added the facility to link videos in there and have photos actually stored directly on the server, pending approval from the moderators. So in other words, you can go in, and if you've got a specific photograph that you want to reference or a video that you want to reference, you can now put them straight onto the site. So in other words, it doesn't take you away from the forum when you're referencing something that somebody might have posted in there. And I think that is purely off the back of people's enthusiasm to use the site. Obviously that spurs enthusiasm for my webmaster to do more with it, and he has. So I'm absolutely made up with the way that the website's going, if I'm honest, Ranty. It is overwhelming. Not just in the amount of work, but you know, in the take up, which is great. That's all you can ever ask for, really.
Yeah. So I was right then when I said get a website.
Okay, credit where credit's due. So this started with Ranty. So when I had a whole bunch of bogus copyright claims coming in, Ranty's foresight was to approach my webmaster and say, AI, why don't you do a website for this dude? And he got in touch with me off the back of Ranty contacting him. So, you know, I'm not going to, you know, that's never going to get forgotten, Ranty. This was your idea, as was Patreon. So yes, yes, yes. Credit where credit's due. You are ace. Nobody's denying that.
Oh, I know that. So it's good to get a bit of feedback, though. Right. So
yeah, you're ace.
Right, so I've not finished with this guy, Gary Orsum. I'll be honest with you. And I know that you haven't spoke about him for a while, but essentially I'm not actually finished with the guy. But let me just say, I actually like the content that he puts out. I'll be honest. I'm just going to flick over to his to the search for Gary Orsum. He has a secondary channel called The Orsum. So his original channel now just has 3 videos on. And The Orsum channel, which is this one here. I'm just going to open it up. And I have to say, the video I watched, the most recent video I watched was called Beer. And it's absolutely hilarious, right? It really is. Top quality stuff. Listen to the guy. It's really funny. Honestly, people go over, subscribe to him because he might be a little bit thick when it comes to flat earth. But when it comes to actually taking on these feminists, God, he has it nailed down seriously. So really, really funny. Go and watch Beer. You will laugh your socks off. I guarantee it. So I'm just giving him a big shout out because essentially, like I say, I have no ill feeling towards him personally. I just think that he's been indoctrinated too much. Would you agree there, Nath?
Everybody has. This isn't anything Gary Orsum related. You know, he was used and abused just because it's a bit of, you know, the back and forth is justified on account of the fact that he'd had a pop at Eric Debate and then had a pop at Orphan Red. Now, I thought about it afterwards. I hadn't even considered the fact that, you know, after the fact, I thought maybe he could have argued that I was like virtue signaling or whatever the terminology he uses because it's a chick, i.e. it's Orphan Red, right? So I'm defending her honor, which I wasn't in the slightest. In fact, I disagreed with quite a lot of what Orphan Red said. But it was just more the opportunity to go through and see what he was asserting. And irony of ironies, like a lot of the commenters, they just assume, and since there's people come in that Gary Orsum video and the repeat of the live show you did that I stuck up, the little snippet where I basically go bonkers at him about the vacuum of space not being real. Well, some of the commenters will come along and they'll basically point out that it's not like any assertions being made when you say the Earth's a globe. In other words, it is so ingrained, it is so thoroughly and well indoctrinated into people that they don't even realize that they're asserting something when they say that the Earth is a sphere. It's just taken as read. That happened today with Brenda. So if you listen to the most recent debate, I think it's 739, you can hear Brenda basically saying, well, yeah, I will just assume that the Earth turns underneath the gyro. I have to be a bit more careful with that phraseology because it's still fixed to the Earth in the example that was being used, but that's kind of a moot point. But anyway, the point being that if you're going to make an assertion that it's rotating and that's the cause of gyroscope turn, you have to start with the assertion that you're turning, i.e. the Earth is moving. But it's so well indoctrinated into people that they don't think they're making an assertion. It's like, well, isn't it obvious that the Earth's turning? Well, no, actually it's not in the slightest bit making obvious. As far as I can see or tell, we're not moving a smegging inch, but it's indoctrinated into you that we are. So therefore, it's okay to just make that assertion without any comeback whatsoever? Well, no. But Gary typifies that. In other words, he didn't think he was making an assertion when he stated that no flat earth has ever disproved that the Earth is claim coming a sphere. You know, so most people don't think that's a claim. But yeah, it's not just a claim, it's a bloody religious belief.
Yeah, and I like how you brought that in, because essentially it's the housekeeping questions. I mean, going forward, if Gary Orsum had his, well, if we believe the narrative from himself, he's basically said that we, you know, flat earthers, have gone over to his channel and flagged his channel. This is what he's saying. Now, this is the narrative that he's punting. Obviously, from seeing this kind of thing before, when somebody gets their ass handed to them, like you say, quite often they will put a lot of stuff on private and just have a bit of a chill out time for a while. Yeah. So there's two ways to look at it. The two ways is that essentially he's, you know, going back and reevaluating what happened in the first instance with his interaction with you, yeah, and on my channel, and or he is correct in what he's saying, that his channel has been flagged. So I can't say either way which is correct. I mean, we both have a theory that maybe he just thought he got his ass handed to him and he's just having a bit of chill out time. But let's look at it from his logic and his point of view, is that we had a new sort of toy, let's say, to play with. You know, Gary Orsum, new Glober on the scene. Clearly somebody that's just ready to be, you know, flat smacked. And what benefit would it have served the flat earth community to have sent trolls over and struck his channel before he actually got his ass handed to him over and over and over again? What benefit would that have been to flat earth? Why would flat earthers have done that? If from a logical standpoint, if he was actually thinking about it from a logical standpoint, and his channel has actually had strikes, let's just go along with that theory. Isn't it more likely that the Globers took him out because he made such an asshole of himself on his video, showing his lack of understanding about the model that he's talking about? Isn't it more likely that if anything, it would have been the Globers that would have taken him out and sort of like nipped it in the bud before he actually got too embarrassed and too shown up?
I think it's all bollocks, Ranty. You know.
Yes, I know it's all bollocks, but listen, I'm pandering to his assertion that this is what's happened. Oh, I got struck. The flat earthers came after me. Why would we do that? We have somebody that we can literally rip a new one because they don't have any proof of the globe. It makes absolutely no sense for a flat earther to take his channel down, but it makes every sense for the globe earthers to take him out because he has 84,000 subscribers, and seeing him going back and forth against you and the flat earth debate team would have been very bad for him and his 84,000 subscribers, because they would have all been woken up.
But nobody's doing anything.
I know.
Videos on private and then come up with this straw man. Like, for the audience members that aren't videographers like you and I, they probably don't appreciate what it means when you turn all your videos to private, which is done by him. You know, coming from when I saw that, I just, you know, rolled my eyes. You know, bearing in mind I've just been in a position where I've had 19 bogus copyright strikes, literally, actually trying to shut me down. You want to click on my icon, because then you can have a nice backdrop.
Yeah.
I've stuck it. I just shared it. But yeah, so it's one of those. I just saw that as just another straw man. In fact, I even did a response video to it. So I woke up at my sister's. I was down at my sister's for a baby shower, and I woke up and I got my iPad right next to me and went to my channel, had a look, saw the comments. I wasn't even awake, and I was like, "Oh, Gary Orsum. Oh, it's got to be a sock account." So I went to it and I was like, "No, it is genuinely him. I'll read it. I'll give it his due." So I read it, and he's saying this narrative that you've just put across, which is to say that according to him, I had sent a load of stooges over to his channel to shut him down, or words to that effect. I can't remember exactly what he claimed, but I went to his channel and I was like, okay, so yeah, you've put all your videos on private. Well, you know, okay, 10 years ago, I did that once to get someone's attention. You know what I mean? And we see it all the time. It's sod all to do with people coming and flagging your channel, because what does flagging your channel mean? If you go in and flag one of my videos, all it does is stops it being monetized until I appeal it. That's all it does. You know, unless you've actually got a copyright or community guidelines violation, nobody's flagging anything. It's just horseshit narrative. But all it really is, the deep underlying reason for that narrative is because it's a straw man. So that he's, no offense to you, Ranty, but so you or I, as it was targeted at me, can latch onto it and argue the toss about whether or not he's had his channel, what did he call it, flagged? Well, no, you haven't had your bloody channel flagged. If you have had a load of actual community guideline strikes, well, then serves you right for doing something wrong. And if you've been flagged for copyright, then serves you right for having copyright material. And if you've had your videos demonetized because people have come along and complained about them for whatever reason, well, that's so what? The amount of videos I've demonetized by trolls for absolutely nothing, and I have to appeal them, and then they get undemonetized. You know, it doesn't mean anything. People can't come and shut your channel down unless they are, and this has now changed, literally malicious intent, putting in bogus copyright claims. Well, you know, that has now altered in terms of YouTube rules, and that certainly isn't what was happening to Gary. He put his videos on private. So if he wants to claim people are coming and attacking his channel, well, with what? By what means? What exactly? Have you got a demonstration? Oh, hold on, I'm fighting your straw man. Oh yeah, that was the point of this narrative, wasn't it? What was the actual claim being asserted? Oh yeah, that you're a useful idiot. Good job we got away from that quickly enough with this straw man. Yeah, useful idiot. Yeah, precisely that. You thought you weren't making a claim because it's taken as read we're on a globe. You're totally indoctrinated. That's the problem here. And he's gone, oh my God. Yeah, shit. I've never been to space. These aren't my pictures. Right, Ranty? That's Indeed. The real argument here.
So the housekeeping questions. I mean, I'm sure that if this had been allowed to play out, I expected a bit of back and forth. I'll be honest. I expected his channel to be putting a new video out in response to a claim made by yourself. So this is how it would look like it was going to go down this way, because it seemed like he was saying, yeah, I'm ready to engage with this guy because the way he presented his video. So he was ready for a bit of back and forth. So I'm assuming that it was going to be any proof of curvature. How would he have tried to get out of that? Or why is it a housekeeping question?
I mean, you're asking for the impossible, aren't you? Really, you want Joe Normal to defeat some of the most carefully thought out flat Earth questions there are on the circuit right now. I mean, could you defeat one of the housekeeping questions, Ranty? With all the arguments that you've experienced, even with Devil's Advocate on your side, and me allowing you to do so, do you think you could actually defeat any of them?
No, and I think is there 7 housekeeping questions right now.
There's any signs of curvature, any signs of axial rotation, any scientific evidence of gravity, any proof of the distance to the sun, any evidence of a molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth, any evidence of gas pressure without a container, any evidence of the R value. So 7.
Yeah, 7. So we have 7. So that could have potentially been 7 videos, you asking him directly a question to prove, right? So think of it that way. He could have responded to your video, and then you would have gone on to say, okay, any proof of curvature, any proof of gravity, any proof of axial rotation. And it could have been video, 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 video. It would have been a very drawn out ass handing to him. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think it's that he recognised that, if that's what you're postulating. I think what actually occurred is that what occurred, he's got a list. Gary Orsum had a list, and he was like, this is a labour-saving list because I've defined where I put, in terms of stupidity, these people. And you've got people who believe in the sky daddy at about number 5, and you've got useful idiots at number 9, flat earthers at number 10. Very, very funny stuff, right? Until you point out that he's presented a picture from someone else of a place he's never been. How are you going to get around that, Ranty? Is he going to jump on a rocket and go and verify these pictures so that he stops being a useful idiot? Because there's no way out of that argument. By definition, he has punted pictures that he hasn't taken from a place he has never been. How else can you define him other than a useful idiot? That's by definition what a useful idiot does. And what's the narrative he's punting? Fucking Sky Daddy narrative. That's what, you know, so he's going to have recognized it. And the further it goes along, the more we'll be laughing about him. What did he have at number 5? Sky Daddy worshippers. In other words, people who believe in God. It's like, oh, right, what's this wizard in the sky? You know what I mean? That you punted his narrative. It doesn't get any more funny as far as I'm concerned. But if you're him and you recognize where it's going, you're going to go, yeah, I'm going to get absolutely obliterated here. Far better to claim I'm being attacked by flat earthers, build up this little straw man and set that on fire. That's what he did. Best move he could probably make. The only move if you're going to try and retain some dignity.
Poor guy. Man, I mean, I feel sort of cheated. I'll be honest, because he was literally going to be our little plaything for the globe. Because
you wanted to pour petrol on him and set him on fire.
No, but in a nice way, you know. I mean, wake him up in a nice way.
I'm going to make this disclaimer right now, Ranty, because you pushed this and you know it, right? I got in touch and said, "Do you know this Gary Orsum guy?" And because you did, right, you've latched onto this, man. You've been like a little terrier. You got your teeth into Gary Orsum's ankles, and you're not letting go.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but I do have to say, I mean, I like his stuff. I mean, come on, look at his channels, man. 85,000 subscribers nearly now, and then the Orsum. Please, everyone, just go and subscribe over there. I'm going to subscribe to him right now on the Orsum because he does do good quality work. Are you subscribed here, Nathan, on the Orsum channel?
No, but I will be.
Okay, so yeah, go over and subscribe to him. In fact, I might actually let's get his link. I'll put it in. I'll copy that, and I'll put it into the side chat so that everyone can go and.
Be clear, right? Go over, like, comment, share, and subscribe at the Orsum, right? That isn't. This is that was the thing that made me roll my eyes the most, Ranty, when I read that comment. I'm like, given the fact that people who watch my channel know that when I've sent people over to, for example, but not limited to. Sean Hufford's channel, for example, I will say, make sure you watch his ads. Yeah? Make sure you engage with him, subscribe, like. In other words, support him as a YouTuber. And when I did the video about Gary, I put a link to his channel with subscribe to Gary Orsum here. In other words, I'm encouraging my audience to go and engage with him, and they did, you know, even use some of the comments of people that are engaging with him, explaining that he's using, admittedly slightly incorrect terminology, but it was phrased as formological as opposed to formal logical fallacy. Anyway, but you know, that wasn't picked up on by Gary, ironically, in that straw man that he was using someone else's comment, not mine. But you know, it's one of them. They went over, they engaged with him. Now he's claiming that they're trolling and flagging his channel. It's like, no, they came over and commented.
So what's your right? Okay, so I know you're going on about the vacuum next to a non-vacuum. Is that your primary, you know, housekeeping question of all the questions that you could think of? Is that it?
The gas pressure without a container question is the single best debunking of the heliocentric system there is.
How so?
Say again?
How so?
Because it's the fundamental premise of the heliocentric system. You know, the biggest part of the heliocentric system is the ever-expanding vacuum of space. Goes on to the edges, it's always getting bigger, blah, 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 blah. The vacuum of space is everything. Everything you see when you look through a telescope, where is it? Oh, it's in the vacuum of space. Where are you traveling when you go to the when you go beyond where we know, beyond terra firma? Well, you're going to outer space. Everywhere beyond, everywhere in every direction, outer space. So, you know, what are we? We're a ball in outer space. So it's the most, you know, the most fundamental part of the religion, a ball in space. Yeah,
it's bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's total bollocks. But that's fundamentally undone when you ask, well, how does the gas stay here? And I said on Patricia's show the other night, Just glance up slightly, look at the sky, and look at Johnny Globehead in the eye and say, "So that's a vacuum?" And they go, "Well, no, space is a vacuum." Yeah, that's where I'm pointing at, where you think is space, because that's in every direction. I could even point at the floor, as farcical as that sounds, and claim it's space. Yeah, on the other side of the presupposition of a globe Earth that I'm standing with people antipode from me. That's also space, right? That's how bonkers it gets. But ultimately, yeah, I digress. You look up at the sky, always above you, and say, "Is that a vacuum then?" And if they say no, point out that in their religion it is. And if they say yes, you go, "Well, how the hell are we still breathing then? Why isn't the gas expanding out into that space?"
Exactly.